Hi everyone, I'm Max with Customers Chasing You. We're going to teach you the secrets of marketing your book. That's right, secrets. Well, what are these secrets? Well, I'm going to get to them. I'm going to teach you how it's done. Books are an absolute superpower. I've never found anything that's even come close to being as powerful as books when it comes to just marketing, positioning in the marketplace. I mean, just really separating yourself from the competition. So what I'm going to teach you today is all the different ways that you can promote your book. Now, you may say to yourself, well, Max, I don't have a book yet, so this is worthless. No, this is good information for just how to promote yourself. You know what you say about yourself, what advertisements say is not as important as what customers are saying about you, right? Other customers. That's how the communication's going. So in this podcast, we're going to go about 20 minutes. I'm going to start the timer, so we're on time. I'm going to teach you some ways that we're doing this, and you can use these strategies whether you have a book or not. This might inspire you to write one. And if you stick around to the end, I've got a link where I'm going to give you this worksheet. It's like I created it, and it's about 10 questions. It's pretty easy. You can do one per minute, so you'll be done in 10 minutes, and it helps you identify your X factor. So I'm going to get you a copy of that at the end. So take notes. You probably want to watch this one again. We're really packed this in, but we got to go quick. So I'm going to jump right in. Okay. So now, you know what the whole goal of the show is, right? It's about action. It's about getting results. So we love people to listen, but we want you thinking the whole time, results. How do I use this information to get results? What we do in our company, and Save Your Publishing House, my publishing company, is we use our home-to-home brand, and we take real estate professionals and basically we elevate them. We're on a mission to elevate 300 real estate professionals, local professionals, through helping them become an author with our book series. So that's what we do, and I'm just going to share some examples of how I've used it to get customers and how our licensees are. And then, like I said, I'll show you some stuff at the end. So I'm excited. Just hang in there. Let's do this. So how do you make a book work for you? The number one way that a book can really position yourself totally differently in the marketplace is three things. Dan Kennedy talks about these. They're authority, expertise, and celebrity. Now, I'm not saying that if you're going to write a book, you're going to become a celebrity. Most business books sell, I think the average is like 300 copies. It's not a lot. People think that the number one way to make money with a book is by selling it. And usually the only people who make money selling their book and marketing it that way, they're already famous. Or it's a really great book. And hey, I'm not taking anything away from those people. It's awesome. But what I found is a book is an incredible tool to get new customers. So if you have a business where the lifetime value of your customer is just like a few dollars, this is probably not a fit. But if you're in real estate business, like I am, and like most of the people who listen to my show are, whether you're an agent, a broker, a real estate investor, you're involved in some sort of niche part of real estate, writing a book is a huge game changer. And getting a customer can be very valuable. If you're flipping a house and it's $50,000, and then that person can maybe refer you a person or two over the lifetime of that customer, that's $75,000, $100,000, $200,000. I mean, it's a lot of money. So, what are you investing in to position yourself differently? So what a book does, if done correctly, and it's the right kind of book, can position you as an authority and an expert. Now, you actually have to know what you're talking about in the book. So I'm never advocating people write about stuff that they, don't know anything about. I don't get involved with, ghostwriting. I mean, it has to be you, your story, your experience. That's what I'm talking about right now. But if you have a business right now, any business, not even real estate, and here's what I did. When I wrote my first book is I thought to myself, okay, what is like the information that I'm teaching? Because, if you know about me, I was a teacher for 7 years before I got into real estate. So what information was I teaching my audience, my customers, over and over again, right? Like, what were the same questions that they had over and over? And what were the same like misconceptions that they were having? And then how could I put that in a book and teach them with the book? And that's what I did. That's how I set up my first book, and it worked amazingly. And really, honestly, I'd be lying if I got up here and said, oh yeah, all the benefits that I received, I knew all those were going to happen. Man, I didn't know 99% of them. I had no idea. I just wrote the book because I was helping, all these homeowners, and I just couldn't be like in everybody's house at the same time. So I just had to find a different way. I had an assistant who was helping me buy homes too. We had a small office, but it's like, I needed to be in multiple places and I just couldn't, but the book could. So when I started giving the books out, it was really interesting because I went from having a 1 or 2 hour appointment at somebody's house and they were seeing me as a salesperson to now the customers are investing 6-7 hours reading my book before I get there. And then when I show up, they're seeing me as the expert in an authority and sometimes a celebrity. It's unbelievable. I remember one time I met a World War II vet. This gentleman outlived like 2 wives. And most of the time my customers are females. They just seem to live longer, right? But this gentleman outlived 2 wives and he was in his 90s and he needed help with his house. And, I had sent him a copy of my book ahead of time. That's one of the strategies that we teach. And it was unbelievable. Like he wanted to take a selfie with me, like as I was crossing over the threshold. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Because he had gotten my book, I signed it. And we had a great time, and we talked about the book. And I'm going to show you some of the specific strategies. So even if you don't have a book, don't think negative. You're going to get something out of this. Maybe by the end you'll decide that you want to write a book, and I can point you in the right direction. I don't write custom books for people, but I can point you in the right direction. Okay, I know a few people. So promote your book, not yourself. This is key, especially if you're working in an industry that's highly regulated. Some industries you have to be very, very careful about. What the company advertises or what the company says or what is promoted in media. And so what a lot of folks do to sort of get around that or communicate a different way is instead of talking about their company, their product and service, they talk about their book. Instead of talking about yourself when you go on a sales call, you can give somebody a copy of your book and you can just point to the book. And the more that your book can become like a reference document or a resource document, the more credibility you have with that customer. I mean, most of your customers probably haven't written a book. And so by you doing that, it's just like a whole huge paradigm shift. Paradigm. We're going to throw some big words around. That's a big word for me. If you know me, I'm not really into all that. So when you present the book to your customers, they just see you totally differently. Okay. What's another way that you get some benefit from having a book? Blogs and podcasts, radio shows, local television. So let's start with the first one. You're like, well, Max, gosh, a book, that's really intimidating. Well, if you watch one of our other videos, I have some templates that I can send you, and they're basically how to write your own book. It's the same template that I use every time that I write a book. So, and there's some great books on, follow me here, how to write a book. Okay. And I'm not affiliated with any of them, but I've really gotten a lot out of them. Book in a Box Method, published. Those are 2 really good books that can teach you how to do it. Another thing is, guys, is like if you really truly are an expert or an authority in what you do, maybe you're an agent that's been in the business 5+ years, or you're a broker and you have multiple agents. I mean, you're at the stage, or you're a real estate investor, you're doing multiple houses per month. You know your stuff at this point. So all really a book is taking the information that's already in your mind, it's already there, okay? And you're just putting it into an organized format. Now, I will give you a little word of warning, okay? It's just my opinion. Results may vary. I'm not an attorney. I don't have any cool disclaimers. I probably should, but I don't think like that, okay? Bottom line is, make sure that your book, the secret sauce of a book, is most of the book. When I say most, like 99% of the book should be about solutions to problems that your customer is having. Okay, let me say that again. Solutions to problems that your customer is having. If you write a book and it's 99% about you, I mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but your customer, they care about you a little bit, but in a way they don't. Okay, they just want to solve their problems. So make the book about them. Make the book about the biggest challenges they're facing. And when they read the challenges that you present in the book, they're going to really identify and be like, yeah, I'm going through that right now. And then when you present some solutions, here's the second secret sauce tip. I'm not going to be able to make any more videos. I'm giving out all my best stuff now. The second secret sauce tip by far for me, my experience and my licensees all over the country who co-author books with me. Make sure that not all the options in the book, like the solutions to the problems, make sure they don't all point to you. Because that's where salespeople get into a lot of trouble, is they go to somebody's house and they're offering, one solution and it's their solution, and they're trying to almost like talk the customer into their solution. Big mistake, big mistake. I've talked to real estate investors who are like, oh yeah, I didn't really talk about the agent, example because, I'm not a licensed agent. So I just told them that, that going the investor route was the best way. And I told them all the bad things about, being an agent. But it's like, well, but there's pros and cons to everything. I mean, that's the way everything is. And one solution is not right for everyone. So the more that you can present options that don't point to you, the more you'll be seen in the eyes of your customer as that objective foundational source. And that's how we take experts that are already experts. We can't make somebody an expert. All we can do is just help package what they already have and then represent it to their community in a different format. That's what we do. Okay, that's what I'm really good at. That's what I like to do more. I mean, that's like one of my favorite things to do because it's really cool. You get to serve people at a totally different level and you get to start serving a lot more people. You'd be surprised how many people will flock to you when you're the authority. But remember, that's a title that somebody else puts on you, not the other way around. You can't just walk around and say you're an authority or an expert. That's not how it works. So let's talk about content, right? Because we talk about content marketing and that's important. Here's the benefit of a book is, some people start out with videos and posts, and I'm not saying that's bad, but here's a different way, okay? Get a template, write your own book, plug into somebody's book, and when you plug into a book or a book system, that's your content now, okay? You've written the book, you've taken the information out of your head, you've repackaged it, now you're delivering it to your audience, to your ideal customer. They're passing it around to each other, all these beautiful things. Now you can take just little snippets of that and use that for your content marketing. You can use that for your podcast topics. And really, you can start with one, foundational piece, which is a book or a workbook. And then it really blossoms into a whole year or 2 years or maybe a whole career's worth of content. So that's a really important tip that can help you. Another way that books, some of the secrets that they have, I think I'm going to list 5 of them. And then I've got a tool at the end that's going to be absolutely dynamite that I'll share with you, is utilizing influencers. Okay, so influencers, very interesting. Those are people who, already have a community. They already have an audience. These are people who, already know the customer that you're trying to go after, right? So how can you reach them and get them to introduce you to their audience? Well, by being a salesperson, it's not good because, if you're an influencer and you're shepherding like a flock, right? You're up here. And then the salespeople are seen kind of usually in a negative connotation, right? Some of them, not you guys are awesome, but they just play a lot of tricks, and salespeople are just seen as like, they only care about getting what they want. Okay. So how do you utilize influencers and plug into their community? By being at the same level as them, by elevating your level, by elevating through authorship. You position yourself in a way to where influencers want to work with you. These are people who are out in the community, they're making decisions, and when they say something, people listen. Now when you're a published author, you share your book with people, just a totally different level of engagement with influencers, which brings you the referrals, which brings you more leads. So that's a huge benefit of having a book. I mean, it's just, that's one of the best ones, really. But I got 2 more, so don't panic. Okay. Give the book away. So here's a secret when you're using your book for marketing. And remember, it doesn't have to be War and Peace. Okay. It doesn't have to be like, this thick. I read a book last year, 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. Really good book. And Creature from Jekyll Island, another great book. They were big books. I mean, they took me a month. Like, it's just super huge book. And then the Charlie Munger book, something Rich Poor Dad, Poor Farmer's Almanac. It's about Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner. Another book that was really thick. You don't have to write a book like that, okay? You can write whatever size book you want. I like 5 by 7. I think that's a good size. But a 5x7 book, if you get to like 30,000 words, it's about 150 pages or so, give and take, depending on the spacing. But you can write smaller books. I have some friends who swear by, books that are, 50, 60 pages, and those are good. We're actually in the process of making a booklet there's a couple of different websites that'll do it. And you can just make a small booklet. It's just maybe, a little bit bigger than a business card, 30 pages. And that's kind of next level, right? It's just something more than just a business card and a cell phone number. But whatever you make, give your book away. Give it to potential customers. Give it to influencers. Now, I will give you another secret tip here, is that when you give your book away, you want to get contact information. And a really easy way to do that is just to simply say, hey, somebody who obviously raises their hand and they're interested. I'll give you a real life example. When I go speak at different, communities, different, senior housing locations, senior centers, maybe there'll be 20 or 30 people in the audience, and I'll say, if you're interested in getting a book, you can come up here and grab one. I'll sign it. And, maybe not everybody will get one, but most of the people will. And then I just let them know, just sign your name and info. And then I'm going to give you a call in a couple weeks just to get your feedback on what you thought of the book. And that's really important because it does a couple of things. One, it holds them accountable. They know that you're going to call them in a couple weeks. Unfortunately, most books that are purchased, I think it's 85%, according to Amazon, 85% of books that are purchased are never read. Now, I don't know how they know that. Maybe they got cameras in your house or they just call people up. But it's a lot. A lot of people buy books. They feel like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to do something if I buy a book, but they don't read it. So you got to make sure that people consume the book. There's actually some other videos that we'll do in the future. You actually get a benefit when you become an author of a book, a physical book, even if they don't read it. But we don't have time for all that. So give your book away. And then the bonus tip is that when you call them in a couple weeks, you're not talking about trying to sell stuff. You're just getting feedback on the book. It's a really natural conversation. It's the way I like to do it. And I used to make cold calls. I think 60 a day when I was a recruiter. So, I know about calling people cold. And, I can do it, but I don't really like it. So this is just like a really, really warm conversation. Okay. And here's the last one before we close down is quality is more important than quantity. So, having a customer that gets a great experience, that gets a lot of value from your book, making that deeper connection and that deeper relationship is really, really going to benefit your business, especially now, like we've talked about in other videos. People are getting online, right? They're talking about you. They're talking about your business. They're leaving reviews. And so what are people saying? Are they saying good things? Are they saying bad things? Are they saying nothing, which is almost like saying bad things, right? You got to have somebody out there advocating for you in your business. What I've found is that customers, it's really interesting. I would have a sales maybe call, right? I'd go to somebody's house, be there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Now when I'm out and I'm meeting people in my community and I'm doing lead generation, right? Like the first step, we do 3 things in every business. We generate leads, we convert leads into customers, and then we have our product service offering. And then I would kind of add on to that, that's from the E-Myth, is I would say the product service offering and the customer experience. I'm really lightening focus on that. And the book really helps do that because it puts it at a whole nother level. And so instead of me going to somebody's house and meeting with a real estate client, now I can go to an influencer. They bring in 20 or 30 potential real estate clients, and then I give one presentation and speech, but it's not a sales presentation. I'm not buying them a steak dinner to get them to listen to me. We're doing a book signing, a evening with the author. What do you think? Do you see how that sounds? Is that what you would like? Would you like to do you want to do a sales presentation at somebody's house, 1-to-1? Or would you like to do an evening with the author and there's 20 or 30 people there and they're all potential customers of your service, and you're doing book signings and you're taking pictures and you're eating food and you're getting contact information and you have amazing follow-up calls in a couple weeks. People are loving your book. They're going online and giving it positive reviews. They're going on Facebook and talking good things about you and how kind and caring you are. This is like a totally different way to market, and it's awesome. And once you start doing it, you'll never go back. Like here's one of our customers here. I've got Robert Kelly, awesome dude. We co-authored this book together and created his local edition. And he does real estate, but he also does some other things. He does like Medicare insurance, supplemental and things like that. And so when he goes and meets with those folks during his day-to-day job, he gives them the book that we co-authored together. And it's got all of his stories in it and all of his content. And what happens is that he leaves and he goes to another person's house, but he stays. You see, he's right here on the cover. He just goes up on the shelf and like the little elf on the shelf, right? But he's there and he's super positive and all the info's here. And the customer can read and they open up the book and they read about, how he's helping Medicare patients and how, what his background is and how he helps people and what he does. And then every other page has got his contact info. And then what's also cool about this book is versus a business card, it's like when he goes and sells people the Medicare stuff, a lot of people treat that like a transaction, but he's treating it as a relationship that's just getting started. Really the work doesn't start until the first purchase. And now it's like we're really building that relationship. And he can give somebody the book and it's awesome, and then they're reading it, they're passing it out, they're giving it to their friends, and they're not losing his contact info. So that is really, really a superpower way to do that. So let's recap, and I'm going to break down what the tool is. So what are the main ways that you can market your book, and what are those secrets? Well, number one was you can make the book work for you by just the positioning that you have by being an author. So like that happens without you having to do anything extra. The other one is that you're talking about the book. You're not talking about you, so it takes the focus off. The third one is you can use the content for blogs. You can use the content in your book from podcasts. You can also interact with influencers and get access to their audience and serve them. And then, of course, serve yourself too and get more customers. And then we'll say this is number 4, give your book away, get contact information, and then call and have a really warm conversation. And then lastly, focus on the quality. It's not 10,000 pieces of direct mail. It's 100, specially placed books with your ideal customer, getting, a positive endorsement from some influencer, reading the book and hearing, seeing your story and being able to invest, 6 or 7 hours. It's like with you, but you're not there. And then they can pass it around and share it. So these are some of the ways that you can use a book to just take your business to the next level. So I want to talk to you about the tool that I have for you guys, because we're all about action on this show. And I created this spreadsheet. It's called, it's 10 questions. It's called Finding Your X Factor. And it's not the popular TV show. I'm going to read a couple questions from here. Number 1, what are you really passionate about? What is your why? Okay, you just answer it. So I made this. It's 2 pages or 1 page front and back. Answer the questions. You're going to have a lot more clarity on your marketing messages, because we always want to be giving the right messages out when we're, investing time and money with our marketing. And then also, if you want to get on that book journey, whether it's plugging into us in one of our book systems or creating your own, just let us know. So that's what we got for today. Secrets to marketing your book. If you want to have customers chasing you, the fastest way is to get involved in books. 100% sure of that. If you like this video and you got some value from it, just give us a thumbs up. It helps us reach more people. We'd love for you to subscribe. We're putting out content weekly and putting a lot of time into it and making sure that it's something that's really going to help you. It's not just me just bloviating. I want it to be things that help you. What's the fastest way I can find that out? Just put down below in the comments what it is that you want to learn more about, what you liked about this. And of course, we love suggestions. And then if you feel like you know somebody who can get some benefit out of this too, feel free to share it. And until then, I want everybody to just keep working towards that book. Download your X Factor worksheet and get on that. Get on the journey ASAP. And until next time, be well, be blessed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.